This healthy pill could be setting your brain up for a stroke tonight. And if you're over 60, you're most at risk. I'm a brain doctor. What I'm about to show you has saved 3 of my patients this month alone. The silent stroke trigger in your medicine cabinet. If you're over 60, that vitamin bottle on your nightstand could be a ticking time bomb. No warning, no pain. 1 minute you're asleep. The next, you wake up unable to speak or move your right side. As a neurologist at Johns Hopkins, I've seen this nightmare play out too many times. And the culprit? Vitamins you thought were helping. Every day, millions of seniors take supplements to protect their bones, memory, or heart. But new research from the National Institute on Aging shows that 5 common vitamins, taken the wrong way, can thicken your blood, raising stroke risk 34%. Trigger brain bleeds, like Evelyn's story below. Spike blood pressure during dangerous morning hours. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 vitamins that can silently raise your risk of brain-related emergencies, especially during sleep, when the brain is most vulnerable. I'll also share real stories of patients I've treated, like Mr. Walter, who thought his vitamin D was helping, until it nearly ended his life overnight. If you or someone you love is taking vitamin D, E, B6, A, or niacin, please stay with me. This may be one of the most important health videos you'll ever watch. Let's begin with one of the most surprising and misunderstood vitamins of all, vitamin D. It's often praised as a must-have for older adults. You've probably heard it protects your bones, supports your immune system, and lifts your mood. And that's all true, in small, careful amounts. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. Too much vitamin D, especially when taken at the wrong time, can quietly raise your risk of stroke. Let me share the story of a man I'll never forget, Mr. Walter, a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran. Disciplined, sharp-minded, and deeply committed to his health. Every morning, without fail, he took his vitamins, among them a high-dose 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule. He thought he was doing the right thing. After all, his bones were thinning, and a friend told him vitamin D would help. But then, one quiet morning, his wife found him sitting on the edge of their bed, confused, slurring his words, unable to move his right arm. He'd suffered a stroke in his sleep. When we reviewed his lab results, the picture became clearer. His calcium levels were dangerously high. His blood pressure was unstable. His arteries were stiff and inflamed. The cause? Vitamin D toxicity. You see, vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. But if you take too much, especially without medical guidance, it floods your bloodstream with calcium your body can't use. That excess calcium settles into your arteries, making them hard and narrow. Combine that with dehydration, disrupted sleep, and age-related artery stiffness, and you've created the perfect storm for a stroke. And here's the scariest part. There are no warning signs. No chest pain. No tingling. You simply go to sleep and wake up with your life changed forever. Now you might be wondering, how much is too much? That's the tricky part. Many supplements sold over the counter contain 5,000 to 10,000 IU per dose. Seniors take them every day, thinking more is better. But research shows that even 2,000 IU daily can be excessive if you're not truly deficient. The safe daily intake for most older adults? Around 600 to 800 IU, and that's only if your blood levels are low. Yet most people take far more without ever checking. So what can you do? Number 1. Always get your vitamin D levels tested before starting any supplement. Number 2. If you're taking calcium or heart medications, talk to your doctor. The combination can quietly push your risk even higher. And number 3. Always take vitamin D in the morning, not at night. Your blood pressure naturally dips while you sleep. Adding a calcium spike late in the day can strain your brain and heart. I know this might feel overwhelming, but awareness is power. And making even one small change, like shifting when you take your supplement, can protect your brain more than you realize. If you're taking vitamin D right now, check the label. Do you know how many IU you're getting? If so, type D in the comments. If what you just heard about vitamin D surprised you, this next one might be even more dangerous, especially if you take heart medication. Let's talk about vitamin E, often called the heart helper. It's marketed as a natural way to support circulation, memory, even skin health. And for many older adults, it feels like a smart addition. But here's the part the label doesn't tell you. Too much vitamin E, especially when combined with blood thinners, can increase your risk of bleeding inside the brain. Let me tell you about Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, an 80-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. Sharp as a tack, loved puzzles, poetry, and old jazz records. She had a mild heart valve condition and was on warfarin, a common blood thinner. Her doctor monitored everything. Labs were stable, pressure under control. But then one day, she saw an ad in a magazine. It promised better memory, better blood flow, better aging. The main ingredient? Natural vitamin E. Each capsule contained 800 IU. It just sounded so harmless, she told me. I thought I was doing something good for myself. 3 weeks later, she collapsed at home with a splitting headache, nausea, and confusion. Her son rushed her to the ER. The scan revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside her brain. Not from trauma, not from high blood pressure. The culprit? The combo of warfarin and high-dose vitamin E had made her blood too thin to clot. You see, what most seniors don't know is that vitamin E acts like a natural anticoagulant. It slows your blood's ability to clot, just like aspirin or Plavix. So when you combine it with actual blood thinners, the bleeding risk increases dramatically. And it doesn't take much. The recommended daily intake for older adults is just 15 milligrams, about 22 IU. But many over-the-counter supplements contain 200, 400, even 1,000 IU, often with zero warnings about drug interactions. The scariest part? You don't feel anything until it's too late. No pain, no pressure, just a tiny blood vessel in your brain giving way. Evelyn survived, but her life was never the same. She now walks with a cane. Her short-term memory isn't as sharp. And I'll never forget what she told me, holding back tears. I was just trying to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm. She's not alone. Thousands of older adults take vitamin E every day without realizing it could backfire, especially if they're also on heart or blood pressure meds. So what should you do? Check your labels. Talk to your doctor before adding any supplement, especially if you're on blood thinners. Be cautious with anything over 50 IU unless prescribed. Remember, not all vitamins are harmless. Even something labeled natural can have powerful effects, especially on a body that's aging, changing, and more sensitive than it used to be. If you've taken vitamin E or know someone who has, type E in the comments. Let's start a conversation. Now, if the risk of a brain bleed wasn't enough to make you check your cabinet, the next vitamin might surprise you even more. Let's talk about vitamin B6, often praised for boosting energy, brain health, and nerve function. You'll find it in those bright bottles labeled Brain Booster, Nerve Renew, or Memory Support. Sounds helpful, right? But here's the truth most seniors are never told. Too much vitamin B6 can quietly damage your nerves, sometimes permanently. I'll never forget meeting Mr. Harold Jenkins, a 75-year-old retired truck driver from Kansas. He was tough, proud, and had driven cross-country for over 40 years. But lately, something had changed. His feet had gone numb. His hands tingled constantly. He couldn't keep his balance, and he'd fallen more than once. The last fall left him unconscious on his bathroom floor. When he came into my clinic, he said, "Doc, I think I'm just getting old." But I knew it was something more. I asked him to bring in all his medications and supplements. That's when I saw it. A nerve support formula with 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 per tablet. And he was taking 2 every day. That's 200 milligrams daily. For reference, older adults only need about 1.5 to 2 milligrams per day. That's it. He was taking 100 times more than he needed. Now, here's the dangerous part. Vitamin B6 doesn't just flush out like vitamin C. It builds up over time, especially in older adults whose kidneys and liver don't clear it as quickly. And when it builds up, it damages the protective coating around your nerves, a bit like stripping the insulation off electrical wires. The result? Tingling in the hands and feet, numbness, muscle weakness, poor balance, and in some cases, confusion, tremors, or memory issues. It sneaks up slowly. Most people think it's arthritis, aging, or maybe even early dementia. But really, it could be B6 toxicity, caused by a supplement meant to help. Harold was lucky. We caught it in time. We stopped the supplement, and while some of the damage reversed, not all of it did. He still uses a cane and no longer drives. He told me something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I thought I was doing something good for my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it." And sadly, his story isn't rare. Many brain support pills sold online contain 50, 100, even 200 milligrams of B6. That's not just overkill. It's dangerous, especially if taken daily for months or years. Here's what every senior needs to know. If a supplement says nerve, energy, or brain, flip it over and check the label. If it has more than 5 milligrams of B6, think twice, especially if you're already eating a balanced diet. The safe upper limit for older adults is around 100 milligrams, but only under supervision and only for short periods. So, if you've been taking a supplement like this, or know someone who has, type B6 in the comments. Let's help each other stay informed. Let's move on to a vitamin that sounds completely harmless, vitamin A. It's the one we've all heard helps with eyesight, especially as we age. But what if I told you that too much of it can quietly mimic the symptoms of a stroke, blurry vision, dizziness, slurred speech, and it might even permanently affect your brain? Let me introduce you to Miss Dorothy Simmons, a 72-year-old retired piano teacher from Oregon. She was full of life, graceful hands, a warm smile, and a deep love for music. She taught piano out of her living room for decades. Independent, sharp, energetic. Then, slowly, something changed. It started with headaches. Then her vision began to blur. Some days, she felt dizzy. Others, she had trouble speaking. Her family feared the worst. Was it a stroke? But when we ran her brain scans, there was no clot, no bleeding. Instead, we found high pressure inside her skull, a condition called pseudotumor cerebri. It's when your body behaves like there's a brain tumor, even when there isn't one. The symptoms can be terrifying and life-altering. So what caused it? It wasn't her blood pressure or a fall. It was vitamin A, a supplement she had been taking for over 5 years. Almost 10,000 IU every day, thinking it would protect her skin and eyesight. Here's the part no one talks about. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, meaning your body stores it, not just in your liver, but also in your brain and tissues. It doesn't flush out easily like vitamin C or B. And as we age, our liver slows down, so that toxic buildup happens even faster. Too much vitamin A creates pressure in the brain, compressing tiny blood vessels, disturbing spinal fluid flow, and leading to symptoms like headaches, blurred or double vision, nausea, dizziness, even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. Miss Dot's story is a powerful reminder. She thought she was helping herself. In truth, she was slowly building a storm inside her skull. The safe upper limit for older adults is around 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day, and even that should only be taken under medical guidance. But many supplements contain 5,000 to 10,000 IU per pill, especially those labeled for skin or anti-aging support. Now imagine taking that dose every day for years. The scary part? Many multivitamins already include vitamin A. Add an eye support supplement or a skin formula on top, and suddenly you're doubling or tripling the dose without ever realizing it. Miss Dot is still teaching piano, but with some limits now. She told me through tears, "I just wanted to keep my eyesight and stay independent. I never thought a vitamin could take that away from me." Her story is not meant to scare you. It's here to wake us up, to remind us that vitamins aren't always harmless. They must be respected, especially as we get older. So, if you're taking anything labeled eye health, skin health, or anti-aging, take a moment. Flip the bottle. Check the dose. Talk to your doctor. And if you've ever taken a high-dose vitamin A supplement, or know someone who has, type A in the comments. Together, we can make informed choices and protect the most important thing we have, our brain and our independence. Now, let's talk about niacin, also known as vitamin B3. You've probably heard it's good for your heart, that it lowers cholesterol. Maybe your doctor even recommended it. And yes, in small, carefully monitored doses, it can help. But what most people over 60 don't realize is that high-dose niacin can silently wreak havoc on your blood pressure and even trigger a stroke. Let me tell you about Mr. Frank Miller, an 68-year-old retired postman from Florida. A kind man with a booming voice and a love for morning walks. He came to see me with some strange symptoms. Flushing in his face, chest pounding, dizziness that came and went like waves, and a strange sense of pressure in his head every morning. His wife thought it was stress. His son blamed his medications. But something didn't add up. We dug a little deeper, and there it was. Frank had been taking a heart support supplement he'd bought online. The front of the bottle said, "Supports cholesterol and circulation." The back, 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving. and he was taking 2 doses per day. That's 2,000 milligrams of niacin daily. For context, most older adults don't need more than 15 to 50 milligrams per day, and anything beyond that should only be used under close medical supervision. So what happens when you take too much niacin? It starts with flushing, that warm, tingling feeling in your face or chest. But then the blood vessels snap back and constrict. This back and forth, vasodilation followed by vasoconstriction, can cause spikes in blood pressure, stress on your heart, reduced blood flow to the brain. In older adults, that kind of pressure swing can be the tipping point, triggering a transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini stroke. And that's exactly what happened to Frank. One morning, while tying his shoelaces, he suddenly slurred his words. His left arm felt heavy. The episode passed within minutes, but it was a warning shot. When we removed the niacin supplement and adjusted his routine, those strange symptoms disappeared. He told me something I'll never forget. "Doc, I was just trying to do everything right. I didn't know I was putting my brain at risk." Here's the kicker. Even flush-free niacin, often marketed as safer, can still cause problems, especially with blood pressure, heart rhythm, and blood sugar. These versions release niacin slowly, which can quietly build up in your system and put stress on your body without the telltale flush. So if you're taking anything labeled cholesterol support or heart formula, please check the label. If it has over 50 milligrams of niacin and you're not under medical care for it, pause. Talk to your doctor. Because niacin isn't just a vitamin. In high doses, it's a powerful drug. And for older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, or diabetes, it can tip the balance from health to harm. Frank made a full recovery, thank goodness. But not everyone gets that second chance. By now, you might be wondering, if some vitamins can be risky, what's the safer path? And that's a beautiful question, because the answer is simpler than you might think. The truth is, your body wasn't designed to run on bottles and pills. It was built to thrive on something much more familiar, real food. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Margaret Wilson. She's 74, a retired school principal from Arizona. Sharp mind, warm heart, always organized, just like you'd expect from someone who spent decades leading classrooms. When I first met her, she brought in a plastic bag full of supplements. Vitamin D for bones, E for the heart, B-complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, a brain booster, a handful of others just in case. She smiled and said, "I thought I was doing everything right, doctor. But I still wake up dizzy. My balance is off. I just don't feel like myself anymore." We ran the tests. Nothing major, but something subtle was off. So we did something radical. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we took away the bottles and replaced them with food. Not a fancy diet, not a long list of rules. Just real, nourishing meals, timed right, chosen with care. Here's what her breakfast looked like. 1 boiled egg for clean, steady protein. Half an avocado for brain-boosting healthy fats. A slice of whole grain toast, slow, sustained energy. A handful of blueberries, nature's antioxidants. A glass of room-temperature water, gentle hydration. Sometimes, a few almonds or walnuts for extra brain power. No powders, no pills, just food. Real, whole, recognizable food, prepared with love, eaten without fear. Within 3 weeks, something shifted. Her dizziness faded. Her blood pressure leveled out. Her energy returned. And her words, not mine. "It's like my brain came out of a fog. I feel like myself again." Why did it work? Because your brain doesn't need megadoses. It doesn't need a cabinet full of pills. It needs balance, nourishment, and real fuel. Let's keep it simple. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, full of folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3s that protect brain cells. Berries, packed with compounds that fight inflammation. Nuts and seeds, loaded with vitamin E and brain-healthy fats. Whole grains, to keep your blood sugar stable and circulation strong. These aren't just good for your brain. They're good for your heart, your bones, your energy, your mood, your independence. You're not just eating, you're healing with every bite. At this stage in life, every choice matters more. And it's not the pills you take, but what you understand about them, that truly protects you. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 isn't the same as it was at 30 or 40. It processes nutrients differently. It responds to vitamins differently. Even good habits, like taking supplements, can quietly backfire if we're not careful. That's why I always say, awareness is your strongest medicine. Not fear, not confusion, just calm, informed decisions. So here's what I invite you to do today. Read your labels. Talk to your doctor. Trust your body, especially when it whispers. If anything in this video made you pause, made you think, or made you feel seen, I'd love to know. Type in the comments. What's one small change you'll make starting tomorrow? If this helped you, please give it a like, so more people like you can find it. And don't forget to subscribe to 60 Plus, where we talk about real health, real stories, and real hope for real people just like you. Because you're not alone on this journey, and you're never too old to take back control of your health. You've still got so much life to live. Let's make it stronger, together.